Jimmy Reefer Cake is also very well known for the theme song that introduces our next most anticipated guest. Let's hear that theme song.
With a Jew like Andy Kindler, you know you can't go wrong. His ancestors wrote the God Bless America song. To Obama bots, and he believes Obama can never be wrong. Yeah, AndyKindler.com. You made me laugh so hard, I had to write you your theme song, Andy Kindler.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Andy, welcome to the show. Congratulations on your ancestors writing God Bless America. I am really, we can't thank you enough.
You don't know that Irving Berlin is actually my. I can't sell that. Was that Irving Berlin?
You know, I don't.
What a Jewish name! What a Jewish name that was.
Irving Berlin. Well, there was a time.
Jimmy Reefer. Those are the two greatest songs I've ever heard. And if they round us up again, I won't be able to get With a Jew Like Andy Kindler out of my head. I'll be humming that.
You know, that's the thing. It's a tribute, but it's also conceivably could be the thing that someday gets you sent to the camps, right? When they come in. I don't know if you've been watching A Man from the High Tower or the Man in the High Castle.
I was just picturing a scenario where Andy somehow evades them discovering he's Jewish until they hear that song.
Oh,
It's
I
the
would
most
be
ridiculous thing I've heard in my life.
You can play. You can pass, right? I mean, you pass sometimes.
Well, let me tell you something. I, in a second, would claim to be Italian. I would have turned in every actor during the blacklist. There would have been one name. Oh, I saw Ernest Borgnine. I think he's a communist. Can I go? Can I go now?
How would you?
Who wouldn't have I?
Just like
who
what would
wouldn't I
you
have
do?
Taken down?
Let me just ask you. Let's just do this Man in the High Castle scenario. This is the show from Amazon. That is about what if the Germans essentially and the Japanese won the war and America was half occupied by Germans and Nazis and the other half by the Japanese.
I have to have Amazon Prime to get to see this show?
No, you can go and just order it.
Okay.
So Andy, how would you pass?
Comment.
How would you pass? I'm curious. Like, what you're trying to be Italian. What would you do?
I say, hey, I don't know, man. I'd say I hate those Jews too, but I don't know. Hey, if I could turn into, hey, look, I wish I was a Jew, so you'd have someone to round up, but it's just not true.
Hey,
I'm a guy
Andy,
from
hey,
New York.
Paisan.
Yeah.
Hey,
There you go.
Hey, Scascabaduccia.
All right.
Mussolini.
So I wanted that. I wanted that just as a public service for anybody thinking that you could hide in Andy's attic. Not the place to hide.
No.
I think
As soon as they come in, I'm pointing up with my finger.
Yeah, at that
wordlessly.
point, really, honestly, if that's how you're going to pass, the best thing you could say is like, didn't you hear the Jimmy Reefer Cake song? What Jew would actually allow that to happen? It's a joke.
I was picturing like, hey, there's this friggin' annoying Jew brought up in my attic. Her name's Ed. Go get her.
I don't know why.
Now that's Italian. That's Italian.
Yeah,
Now
it's
that is
Italian. Except for it was Andrew Dice Clay, Jew.
Well, whatever.
Right.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Another Jew.
He's a Jew.
Jew
isn't he?
Italian.
That's
Did you
crazy.
ever, Andy? Did you ever like? When Andrew Dice Clay, I know he was multiple generations before you. You're a very young man, but were you as a young comic? Were you a young comic in the shadow of Andrew Dice Clay?
Yeah, because we did such some. I was very in your face like him, and I was a Jewish misogynist. Was my moniker.
That was your
which was not very popular.
Hickory dickory dock.
Yeah, hey, Orthodox lady, get on the other side of the temple.
You know what? I mean, I want to hear like. I have to say that.
Ow! I'm not having sex through a sheet. Ow!
Was that where your first gigs were? Were they? Because I don't think, like I don't know if I ever had a sense. Like I don't think I met you until I was out. I think living with Sarah 20 years ago out in L.A. And I think she
Right.
introduced me to you, but I don't think I ever knew you in. I mean, did you start in New York? I don't think I know your early beginnings as a comic, and I did not. Forgive me. Listen to your WTF episode.
You ever heard when Studs Terkel interviewed me
I don't remember that, Studs.
in the early 70s? I'd already been doing stand-up
I think
for
I
12
tried to listen to it at the Library of Congress, but they, but I didn't have the right pass. I think.
I started comedy in '84 in a duo. I'm from New York, but I moved to L.A. right after college because I wanted to be a musician. So I started comedy out here.
Well, I didn't know
in
that. What do you
1984.
play? What kind of music do you play?
I play guitar and I write songs. I was one of only 4 million singer-songwriter guitarists who moved to California in '78.
What kind of songs? Do you have copies of those songs?
Unpopular ones.
Well, those are the ones I'm interested in.
I played everything. I was influenced from, at that time I was very into the Talking Heads and the Police. But I started on Dylan and the Beatles and.
Do you have any recordings?
I do have recordings, but it would probably take me a couple of days to transfer them from Edison spools.
I mean,
I was in bands. I was in top 40
fascinated
bands.
to hear what top 40 bands.
We had the worst name was The Visitors.
Now, did
We're
you
not
ever?
the home team.
Is there an album?
We're
Can I
not
go
the
out and
home-
buy an album?
Yes, you can.
Oh, my God.
You can, and then you could take that album and I could recut it. No, I did some. I'm proud of some stuff I did, but I'd be embarrassed to play it for anybody.
Oh, my
I used
God.
to play. I played it in the '90s. I did like comedians who write songs at Largo a couple of times, and people are still not talking about it.
Out of respect for you, or just because of the trauma?
Some people enjoy. I like what I do.
And listen,
But I never did any humor song. I used to take my guitar on the road in the '80s, and I would tell the other comics, "Don't worry, it's not in my act." That's how terrible comedy was.
Yes.
In the '80s. Don't worry, I'm not going to do parodies.
that was tough. But there's some people who made their bones that way, though, right?
Well, but that's the thing now. When I love Fly of the Conchords. I love,
Right.
I love Alan Sherman. I love Jimmy Reaper Cake. But back in the '80s, you could just everything was.
Well, that's what Zach Galifianakis
horrible.
basically broke through by playing his piano songs, right? I'm not kidding.
Well, I went to a show with him, or like a stage thing, and he did a joke, and it didn't get a laugh. And I said, maybe you don't recognize that joke without the piano accompaniment. And everyone laughed.
There you go.
But I love him though.
So no, I listen. Oh, you do. Okay.
Don't get me in trouble with people I actually like. No, but he doesn't play. He just tinkles around. He doesn't even.
Right.
I don't think he knows even what he's doing. But it sounds okay.
Well, are you familiar with Benjamin's album? We just had him on last week. He just put out a jazz
No.
album. Have you not heard it?
Is it actual jazz or?
Yeah. Do you want to play? Do you have a clip of it? New Matt is going to find a clip of Benjamin's jazz album. It is he was playing with very accomplished jazz musicians, and it's pretty surprising. Do you have it? Okay, we're going to play a clip. You can listen to it. Here it is. This is from Benjamin's jazz album. Oh, pause it. I should tell you, Benjamin's on the piano. Because
Okay.
Good. Okay. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of jazz.
You're not a huge fan of jazz. That is better than Woody Allen, though, at Lane's or wherever he used to go.
Yeah,
That's great.
Benjamin cut an entire album entitled "I Should
He didn't
Have."
do it. It's not an entire album, is
It's
it?
an entire album. Yeah, it is about 40 minutes, and
You mean every joke is he comes in with a terrible piano? That's it?
that's the whole album. It's entitled "I Should Have Learned to Play the Piano," and it's a 40-minute jazz album released by Sub Pop.
It is very funny. It
Yeah.
is very funny. How come I wonder? I'm wondering, would that sustain for 40 minutes? Meanwhile, I can't even sustain on stage for a half hour without people
I
shuffling.
mean,
in their
if
seats.
you don't care so much about the piano in your jazz music, I think you could actually listen to it.
Well, the band is good behind
The band
it.
is great. Apparently, they were a little bit miffed.
They're not. You can't tell me they're not in on the joke.
Well, I mean, they showed up, and when they were recording, but they just wanted to get paid, I think.
It's like the Smile Sessions, but without any of the genius attached.
Right. That's the. I think that was. It's Benjamin was sort of selling it that way. It's like a great jazz album without any of the talent and respect for music.
Did nobody in there knows about Smile? Is that what I'm getting from the silence in your studio?
So
Brian Wilson?
Oh,
Hello?
right, yes, of
That's my
course.
new
I saw that
catchphrase.
movie.
That's your new
love it.
catchphrase, Andy?
Hello?
Hello?
Now, Andy, I got a bone to pick with you, all right? I don't want to get into like
Please
because
do.
you know how much I love you. But
I wrote down that you said, this suit was tailored years ago. Or you said today or something.
yes, I did.
That was good.
Thank you.
I like your predictions that you record every morning before today's show to pretend that you said something back in the old days.
That's right. That's right. Actually, we should have. I should have. I wish I could go and record right now. Like, put you on just pause. Record. Like, I predict that Andy's going to say, and say.
Andy will bomb.
No, but
You can
wait
do
a
that.
second.
Evergreen.
Listen. I'm
All right, what's my problem?
honestly. I'm a little bit hurt. Okay.
Okay.
Because this happens to me all the time, where friends of mine come into town, they perform literally not
God.
feet from my
There's
house.
no excuse.
Not
There's
feet from my house.
absolutely-
But I went and I just did a news search for Andy Kindler, and of course it's like Andy Kindler is mad at Chris Rock. Andy Kindler's mad at. But then, I see New York Today. Andy Kindler performs an evening of stand-up at Union Hall in Park Slope. I can't tell you, Andy, that Union Hall is not so far enough that I would have let my 10-year-old daughter walk there. I wouldn't let her go in. It's a bar. And then I look at the date
I have no
and
excuse.
I see November 27th, 2015, and I think, what's going on?
It's wrong.
What happened? And
I
did
have
you
no
play
excuse.
there?
I don't even have. I did play there, and I could have comped you. I could have comped you. As a Jew, you would have been shaking with anticipation, knowing that you had a free ticket awaiting you. You wouldn't have had to have paid. I would have given you a carte blanche, or Diners Club.
Yes.
Good night, everybody. Please put your Discovery card in the bowl.
You're making it even worse.
I'm hurt, Andy.
And Michael too. I didn't even tell Michael I was coming.
Well,
in
that
town.
I understand. But I'm.
No, it's wrong. I feel so terrible.
I got to tell
feel
you.
terrible
All right,
about
now, but let me just say that said, I was actually visiting family, so I wasn't even in town.
Don't you read my Twitter feed constantly? I thought that was
Well,
how Twitter works.
to be honest with you, I did
plug a
see
date
that. I did see that.
At
I did
3
see
p.m.
that.
and people
I did
stay
see,
there.
I did see that. I did see that on the Twitter feed, but I thought it would be more dramatic because you're in the New York Times, for God's sakes. I'm looking at it from the New York Times. I wanted to pump you up.
You are an expert guilt spieler.
Oh, well,
It's unbelievable.
No, of course. Yeah, no, I was aware of it, but I was away.
Not for anybody.
I saw
who
you
deals with
playing
regular.
bocce ball. You were playing bocce ball during my show.
Well, I imagine that happens a lot. It's a very small room.
I don't know. I love that room because I
It's a very
sold
small
out
room. I mean, is that?
2
I mean,
shows.
aren't you
You
from
give me
New
a
York?
40-seater?
Aren't you
What's
from
that?
New York? I mean, I would imagine I was sort of surprised. I mean,
That I could draw anybody?
I thought no, but I thought like Beacon Theater for you.
Oh, yeah, yes. If I have you know how, remember this, in Siskel and Ebert, their slogan was, the balcony's closed? That's what happens when I play a theater. The balcony is closed.
The balcony.
Because no tickets have been sold.
Well, so now, Andy, what else is going on in your life?
Nobody remembers Siskel and Ebert. Well, first of all, who told you about the Muslims? I told you. You said Muslims, schmuslims to me when I brought it up. You with your white, upper class, I don't need this tribalistic nonsense in my life. I warned you about Bill Maher. You said, no, the guy is reasonable.
No, that's not true.
He seems like a nice feller. But everyone made fun of me online. I think it may be because I'm strident and won't let stuff go, but I think it was because I was an early adopter of
when is
Watch
Bill
Out.
Maher? When is Bill Maher? No, I'm with you, and you and I,
I know.
When is Bill Maher going to have you on the program? Is he ever going to do it, or no? Is he just
I
so
would
mad?
never go on that show.
You would never
I
go on,
actually
even to argue
fantasize-
with him. Even to argue with him.
No, I fantasize about that two ways. I fantasize about how I say, well, I'm not saying I'm, like sexually, but I do. I can't even get a laugh.
No,
referencing
it's
sex.
just that
We're trying to
we had
listening
people,
seriously
We
and
had people
intently,
laugh.
Andy.
We
wanna
had a
know what
lot
you
of people
think.
laugh.
Go ahead.
No, I think in my head, I say I would never go on his show because I hate. And I used to lie. I used to watch that show years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I say I don't want to go on his show because I hate him and I don't want to be in his environment arguing with him. And then the other part of me says, what if I just take the gig when they call it? But I think I would never go on the show. But that just shows you how much I'm worried that I wouldn't stand up for myself.
You know,
He would never
I
invite
can't
me
get
on
out of my
anyway.
head.
He doesn't
This-
invite on anybody who disagrees with him normally.
Yes, that's my understanding. Now, so what else? What's going on with Andy? Are you gearing up to do a series of television or what?
Yeah, a lot of these shows are on Amazon, like Amazon Prime.
Uh-huh.
I just signed a deal with UPS Ground. I just pitched something at the FedEx Saturday delivery yesterday. It's called Do Not Ship Blood. It's a reality show.
Do not ship blood. That's pretty
I've
good.
got nothing, Sam. Everybody I started out with, every single person I started out with has their own show right now and are on billboards within 3 blocks of my house.
I got to say, you and I, I went out to have a drink the other night with Benjamin, and it was unbelievable to me how many people stopped him. And I thought, like, oh my God, now, like, literally everyone I know and go out and have a drink with is now famous, and it's sort of crazy.
I have to really do a 360 as I'm walking and it has to be in Queens, where everybody loves Raymond reruns are still popular for me to be recognized. I mean, I gotta make eye contact to the point where it's creepy for everybody.
People are not sure if you're the person that they actually sort of reported.
I kind of forced myself on a lot of people.
So wait a second. So
you were looking at me, weren't you?
Now, so my understanding is that you were up for one of those for a series on the taxi cab channel or something like that. Was that right?
Is that the Taxi Cab Confessions?
No, just the one that actually plays in the New York City taxi cabs.
Oh, I love the way they go, hey, I'm John Rivers, put your seatbelt on.
What? So, but wait. So, I mean, you must be busy, Andy. I mean, come on. You're a huge talent. People are constantly...
Well, you asked me yesterday if I could be on the show today. You could have asked me at 9:32 LA time.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I'm
at 9 in
slowing
the
down
morning.
for the holiday.
It's at 9 in the morning. No one like yourself who goes out to clubs every night and lives the nightlife is going to be awake. I know you get up early for this.
Oh, well, let's not kid ourselves. I have meetings from noon on. Let's not gild the lily. No, I mean, I slowed down in December because my wife is a Christian. Sorry, ladies. And I like putting classic lines in front of nothing.
No.
And I love Christmas. I know
You
you
broke
hate
a lot
Christians.
of hearts. You broke a lot of hearts when you said that.
Sorry, ladies.
Yeah.
And I love Christmas, and we do family things. So I always slow down. But the only thing, except of course I do a New Year's Eve gig every year where they pass out, and I say, please pass out the noisemakers at 11:45.
That's when you go on stage, right? Like a 20 of?
Yeah, and they say, first thing, folks, let me hear if those noisemakers are loud enough to disrupt every part of my comedy.
So what do you do for Christmas?
The wife
I know you
family
give
comes
everybody.
up.
I know you give everybody justcoffee.coop using your 10% coupon code majority to get the coffee, the Majority Report blend. But then what?
Well, I heard one year, and I hope it's true, that Arsenio Hall gave out. He just for Christmas just gave out snow globes that said Hollywood on it to all of his staff. Wouldn't that be great if it was true?
I sometimes will give like old headshots of myself to people for, but framed. To be fair, framed. So there's some work that's going on.
I give people DVDs of my one concert film.
John Benjamin's kid has received like 40 copies of Who's the Caboose for Hanukkah from me over the years. Just keep giving him DVDs. So wait, what do you do? What do you do? Do you
this
go?
is the month where I reflect. Oh no, I have people over the house. We have people. My wife's mom and sister come over.
Okay. Do they live out? They live out in California or no?
They live in San Diego. I live in Los Angeles.
All right.
And then I do an hour of mother-in-law jokes, which everyone loves.
Right. That's is that when they say, "We're so glad you married a Jew"?
Well, I'll never forget. Henny Youngman did this commercial where he said, "I went on a pleasure trip." That sounds like Rodney. I went on a pleasure trip. I took my mother-in-law to the airport, and I was thinking, there's not one thing in that either of those sentences that would make any sense to anybody now. A pleasure trip, or that you would be upset with your mother-in-law.
I know.
Hello?
That's true. I guess that's true. I wonder what happened to that. I guess people just don't actually deal with their in-laws as much.
They don't like the classics anymore, Sam. That's the problem. That's why I can't work. There's no Catskills. I don't have a place I can drive 2 hours from the... I can't go... I'm not at the Nevele this weekend, Sam.
I
That's my
actually
problem.
went to the Nevele as a kid. I remember.
Oh, my God.
You're doing your Jerry Seinfeld there, aren't you?
No, I can't believe that you... So when you went... It was still somewhat going on.
I mean, this was
right?
This was probably 35 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. I remember I may have been like 12, 13, 14. And I stayed in like a small room playing basketball the whole time. That's all I did. I don't remember anything else. It wasn't even full court. It was just like literally like the old boiler room, and they put a basketball hoop in there.
It was not like Dirty Dancing?
No, it was not. My experience was not like Dirty Dancing, no.
I heard
your
even the
sister's
food
experience
wasn't
was.
that good. I heard even the food wasn't that good.
I don't remember, but I don't remember what the food was like. So, all right, let me ask you this. Let's just briefly. Okay. I want to get take your temperature here. Trump, Ted Cruz. Now, Trump. You grew up with Trump, right? I mean, he's your guy.
Well, the story
you guys are both from
Trump,
Queens, right? Aren't you?
Well, my dad used to be a gas heating contractor. He used to put like boilers in buildings, and he complained about Trump. He couldn't stand Trump. Trump was a client of his, and you hear people all the time on the news say this, oh, he never pays his bill. He never pays his bills, and my dad couldn't stand him. So as a joke, and I think it was the 80s or the 90s, as a joke, we got my dad the Art of the Deal board game, and we thought it was hilarious. And we couldn't wait to see his face when he opens it up because he couldn't stand Trump. He opens it up and he says, why'd you get me this? Because you hate Trump. He goes, yes, I hate him. And then we were like, hey, the old man's losing it. And then a week later we said to ourselves, what's wrong with us? Why would we think... What was the joke there exactly?
Well, no, I think...
That was so funny.
You know what's fascinating is that it's almost like your comedy career plays out that dynamic.
You mean where nobody gets the joke?
Yeah, you deliver this joke that you're excited about, and everybody's just like, why did you do that?
No. I am a comic's comic. If I got a good reaction to the joke, It would mean the joke was not properly tailored for the one guy in the back of the room who knows I'm not going anywhere.
But isn't that what
and
happened?
feels
You deliver.
that he can laugh.
You give your dad the art of the deal, and who laughs? Only
Right.
your sister, right? Was it your sister, your brother, or what?
Well, it was me and my sister. We thought it was the funniest
That's
gift
what I'm
ever.
saying. That's the exact dynamic, right? Your dad's the audience, your sister is the comic
Right.
at the back of the room, and that's played out your entire career.
Yeah, but my dad normally would be an excellent crowd.
Oh, really?
So, and because he was very funny, so we knew that it was just a terrible joke.
So was he
But-
playing
so
a
he
joke
was a
on you
joke-
when he said that, or no?
No. He just was like,
He was pissed.
it may have been, I think he was basically saying, well, maybe it was funny in your brain, the idea of presenting me with a gift that I would not want on any level. I see how that was
All right,
hilarious
I just
in your
want.
head.
We only have a minute left here, but I want to ask this question
Okay.
of you. Was your dad happy that you became a comedian?
He was happy because I was a music because he didn't get my dad did not understand the music I played, and one time he came upstairs when I was playing and I was in my room. He actually told me something that was true. He goes, "You're from Queens. Why are you singing I'm going a won't a schmoan a going?" He pointed out that I was trying to sound like a musician. But it also discouraged me from playing guitar. So he wasn't crazy about me being a musician, but he really, because was hilarious, he really did encourage me to be a comedian, much to the chagrin of America.
Well, I'll tell you something, Andy. I hate to end on a disagreement, but I can tell you that this little corner of America is very happy that you became a comedian.
Can I just say?
And it brings a tremendous amount of joy in Majority Report America whenever you come on this program.
Michael, did you want to push back on that?
Yeah,
As
I
they
want
say?
actually just
Did you? Because there's not enough oxygen in the room.
just
The
to push back
optics.
on that, Sam. No, I can't. You know what I cannot get out of my head is just an image. I won't even do the bit. But the idea, going back to the beginning of the conversation, as Andy is an Orthodox dice clay, and this is getting really elaborate, but the idea of whoever's Dice's opening acts were back then, they must have just been brutalized by the audience. Get on, fuck off, we want Dice. And so I was just thinking, like, Orthodox Jews being like, get off, we want Kindler. Get this stuff on the stage. To whoever Andy's opening act was. Like just these yeshiva boys, like ranting and raving until Kindler comes out on stage.
Well, I actually did play, and this might be a good closing line, which I've never had. I did play an Orthodox Jewish wedding, which is true, where the men were separated from the women, but they both came together to not enjoy what I was talking about. I'll be in Hoboken this weekend. Try the non-GMO free-range chicken.
Andy Kindler, always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you before then, gosh, I hope I do, but it's very possible I won't. Have a happy New Year.
I'm available. I love you, Sam.
Yeah,
I love you, Michael. I love you.
All right,
I
bye-bye.
love the
Right.
and things like that.
So much
Just
fun.
push back on that for a second.
All right, bye-bye.